The Lord be with you. Sit down. You're going to see a QR code on the screen. I'd love for you to get connected with that. We're going to do a Mentimeter. It's a way for me to interact with you all at one time. It also gives you a chance to follow on your phone so you don't have to read from the screen, really helpful. And it will also help us incorporate everyone who is watching online. Did you forget that they're here, right? We're going to bring them into the conversation here today. Hi. I'm Matt Rawle. I'm a white, cisgendered, adult male clergy person from Louisiana. Let's talk. So in 2019, you could argue that the hardest part of a funeral is finding a piano player at the last minute, right? You could argue today that the hardest part of a funeral is finding someone to staff your live stream, right? In 2019, I never thought that I would live stream a funeral. It felt voyeuristic and weird and kind of gross. Today, there's only a handful of funerals where I haven't live streamed. 2019, the funeral was the finale. The family would come into town, they would gather, they would eat, maybe pack up a few things, and then there would be the funeral, and then they would go home. Today, the funeral is the prelude. All of that would happen on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Not anymore. They come in Thursday afternoon for the funeral, and then they gather, eat, share memories, pack up, and leave. Technology is changing our liturgy. Technology is changing the way we do worshipful work. There's a cultural shift happening. Let's talk about it. First, there's industrial age thinking. In industrial age thinking, whatever it is, it works if everyone is in the same place at the same time, right? It's brick and mortar, right? Think of your offering. Usher, plate, something's put in the plate, that goes to a safe, that goes to a bank, right? It's trusted, it's tangible, but if you're not there, that doesn't happen. There's also information age thinking. Information age thinking is not same time, same place. It is different time, different place. It is someone can stream your worship service at any time, anywhere. Think about your offering again. It is QR code. It is text to give. We have an Apple Pay kiosk in our narthex. It's fantastic. You tap and go, and it's great. I love reminding everyone that it exists. By the way, that increased our loose plate offering by 125% weekly. That's for free. I should have stopped the timer for that. That was for free. So there's same time, same place, industrial, different time, different place, information. We're also now leaning into the automated age or the augmented age, which is not same time, same place. It's not different time, different place. It is different place, same time. You can connect to the metaverse anywhere in the world, but it is still a live event. I can't leave you a message in the metaverse yet. We don't have time to talk about that. Technology is changing our liturgy, and we need to be ready. Dear seminaries, we need to be ready for this. Yes, we need to plant seeds in soil to grow trees, but what happens if we find that we're working with clay? We need potters, not farmers, in that case. We need to improvise. So Harvey, you bring the tree, I'll bring the pot, and then we'll have church. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, don't. So the screen, there's a QR code on the screen so you can participate with a Mentimeter. Why does this matter? Technology is changing our liturgy. Let's see. Here's the instructions if you haven't connected yet. I have a question for you. We're just testing the equipment. We're just going to test to see how did you get to South Central Jurisdictional Conference? Or if you're at home, how would you get to South Central Jurisdiction? Did you come by a plane? Did you come by a non-reimbursable rental car? Did you walk here? Or is it between you and Jesus? Like, stop asking me these questions. How did you get here? So it seems most of us took the risk of getting a car and coming here. That's fantastic. Thank you. This is pointless. That's not the point of the presentation. We're just testing the equipment. Here's the real question I want to ask you. When you think about AI, what does that mean to you? Give me a word, a phrase. That could be ChatGPT, that could be Copilot, that could be Firefly, that could be, I have no idea what you're talking about. We're going to create a word cloud of what AI means to you. Cool. Scary, cheating, hate it. Okay, so we have Lifetime Christmas movie descriptions. Okay, cool. Mysterious, okay, entertaining. I see a lot of little words, which means there isn't a we don't have a consensus on what it means, other than the word scary. Okay. I'm going to leave that up for just a second. Okay. Let's work with that. Okay, we're going to look at all those little words. You can't read them. Maybe you can see them on your phone. Scary, exciting, unknown. Fantastic. I'm going to move on. You can I'll post all this on the socials later. We'll find it later. Let's talk about ChatGPT for a second. ChatGPT, the GPT of ChatGPT is generative pre-trained transformer. What does that mean? It means if you want to do a worship series on Romans 8, you would call to the table youth, your worship team, musicians, maybe finance because you want to buy some things to pass out like keychains, whatever. And you say, hey, we're going to have a visioning day. Let's go brainstorm on Romans 8. And they would all take that in their own categories and then they would bring back to you their ideas. ChatGPT does that. If you say, hey, I want to do a worship series on Romans 8, it will scour the internet in all these categories, economics, psychology, theology, and then would synthesize the most common answers between those categories and hit you back with it. And that happens in about 10 seconds. I'm not saying you stop there. I'm saying you start there. Please keep working with your teams in this, but you can get a dramatic head start in what this means to help save us some time. Let me give you a real example that is less threatening, I hope. So at Asbury, my local church, we were talking about where we should build a second campus. I put into ChatGPT our mission, our vision, who we are, what we're terrible at, who we want to reach, what we're good at. And in 20 seconds, it gave me 3 intersections in Bossier City of where we might be successful in feeding those who are hungry for what we as a congregation could offer. Bossier Parish Community College was one, and it gave me pros and cons for all of them, like parking, activities. It also said South Bossier with growing residential developments. I found out that they were building a neighborhood through this in South Bossier. And then it said, hey, downtown, the East Bank District, vibrant mix of business and entertainment, great for transportation, for folks to get to where you are. This saved us about 3 months of mining census data. In other words, it allowed us to have 3 free months to be in ministry with people instead of in the office, dear clergy. If you want to learn more about this kind of thing, we're building a thing called the Hub for Innovation. You can find out more about it in the hubforinnovation.org, hub number 4, because that's what was available, hubforinnovation.org, where we are helping churches think through this, of how to use these tools, but also how to be cautious about these tools. You know that every 25 interactions on ChatGPT is about an 8-ounce bottle of water in terms of cooling the equipment. Meta in 2023 increased their water consumption by 50%. Google says in their 2023 environmental study that 82% of the water that they use is from where water isn't scarce. You know what that means, right? 18% is from where it is scarce. So friends, let's not be afraid. Let's jump in. The church needs a seat at this table. Currently, we're testing some learning cohorts in the West Ohio Conference to create catalysts of clergy in their annual conference. Dear South Central, we're testing this in a different jurisdiction because they said yes, and they're investing in it. I'd love to bring it a little closer to home. Also, if you want to learn more, we have a podcast. It's called In the Sandbox, where creativity and utility meet. Our guest last time was Lisa Greenwood. Our next guest is DeAndre. I have the voice of a golden honeybee, Johnson. He's our next guest. You should check it out. It'll launch next week. Here's a QR code if you want to find out more about what we're doing, what we're trying to do. We're building this with Rachel Billups and April Casperson and also Dave Warner. Thank you very much for your time.